were days when Ethan woke up feeling unstoppable. The sun felt brighter, his mind sharper, his goals closer than ever. On those days, motivation wrapped itself around him like a promise. He would write long to-do lists, watch inspirational videos, and swear that this time would be different. And then there were the other days when the alarm rang and his body felt heavier than the mattress beneath him. Days when self-doubt spoke louder than his dreams. On those days, motivation was nowhere to be found. It didn't leave a note. It didn't explain itself. It just vanished. For years, Ethan believed motivation was the key. Book he read, every speech he watched, every quote he saved on his phone told him the same thing: stay motivated. So he chased it, he waited for it, he depended on it, and every time it disappeared, so did his progress. Ethan wasn't lazy. That was the lie he told himself for a long time. Bet it wasn't true. He cared deeply. He wanted more from life. He wanted to prove to himself more than anyone that he was capable of something meaningful. But wanting something and building something are two very different things. At 27, Ethan felt behind. His friends were moving forward. Careers, relationships, milestones, social media feed was full of achievements that made him question his own pace. He kept thinking, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll work harder when I feel inspired. But ready never came. One rainy evening, after another day wasted scrolling and overthinking, Ethan sat alone in his small apartment. The room was quiet, except for the hum of the refrigerator and the noise in his head. He looked at the notebook on his desk, half-written plans, abandoned goals, unfinished ideas. It felt like evidence of failure. That night, something inside him cracked. Not in a dramatic movie scene way. No tears, no shouting. Just a quiet realization that hurt more than any emotional breakdown. Motivation has never stayed long enough to change my life. The next morning, Ethan didn't wake up inspired. There was no surge of confidence, no sudden clarity. He felt tired, uncertain, unmotivated. But he did one small thing anyway. He made his bed. It wasn't symbolic at the time. It didn't feel powerful. It was just something simple he could do without thinking. Then, he brushed his teeth, got dressed, and sat at his desk. He worked for 20 minutes. No music, no hype, just focus. When the timer ended, he stopped. That was it. No celebration, no Instagram post, just a completed task. The strange part, he didn't feel motivated afterward, but he felt stable. So he repeated it the next day. And the day after that. Some days were harder. Some days, he wanted to quit halfway through. Some days his mind screamed that it wasn't enough, that he was moving too slowly, that others were miles ahead. But he kept showing up. Not because he felt like it, because he decided to. Ethan began to understand something no quote had ever explained properly. Discipline isn't loud, doesn't feel heroic. It doesn't come with adrenaline or goosebumps. Discipline is quiet, boring, repetitive, and that's exactly why it works. Weeks passed, then months. The work sessions grew longer. The routines became automatic. He stopped negotiating with himself every morning. There was no debate, no waiting for the right mood. He did what needed to be done because it was on the schedule, not because it felt good. Motivation still visited him sometimes. On those days, work felt easier. Time moved faster. But now, when motivation disappeared, nothing stopped. The system carried him forward. There were setbacks, of course. Missed days. Bad weeks, moments, when old habits tried to pull him back into comfort. But discipline didn't demand perfection. It only demanded return. Each time he fell off, he came back faster. Slowly, almost invisibly, things started to change. Ethan's skills improved. His confidence grew, not the loud, fragile kind, but a calm belief built on evidence. He no longer needed to tell himself he was capable. He had proof. One afternoon, while cleaning his desk, Ethan found the old notebook, the one filled with abandoned goals. He flipped through the pages and smiled, not with regret, but with understanding. That version of him wasn't weak. He was just waiting for motivation to save him. No one ever told him that motivation was optional. Discipline changed how Ethan saw himself. He stopped identifying as someone who tries and started seeing himself as someone who does. Not because he was special, But because he was consistent, life didn't suddenly become perfect. Problems didn't disappear, but he no longer felt powerless. He trusted himself now, and that trust was worth more than excitement. One day, a friend asked him, "How do you stay motivated all the time?" Ethan paused. "I don't," he said. "I just don't let that decide anymore." The truth was simple. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Feelings change. Decisions build. Motivation burns hot and fast. Discipline burns slow and steady. One fades when things get hard. The other shows up because things are hard. Ethan learned that success doesn't come from intensity. It comes from reliability. From doing small things when no one is watching, from choosing progress over comfort, again and again. And maybe that's the real shift, realizing that you, Dan T, need to feel ready to begin. You just need to begin. Motivation may fail you. Discipline won't.